Well, this is what I'll say about that. Is that I'll just show you this. This is from the court filings. If you read what it says, that's from the legal court filings. And then this is what I'll say that from another page of the official documents, it said, and I'm quoting him, said that he was honest enough and thoughtful enough to admit that he robbed me, because they would find out. So you put out something that's not even true for no reason at all. Because I mean, you found this. What does it say at the bottom? It's like from the filings. It's from the court filings. So
yeah. So it looks like he only initially gave you $350,000, but had to give you well over $2 million, I guess,
right.
after the wow, interesting stuff. By the way, after you had that fight, you also had another big one with Jermell Charlo.
The leaked court documents have stunned the boxing world, with Derrick James revealing evidence that Errol Spence allegedly owes him a staggering $2.5 million in unpaid training fees.
I think that, the relationship ended when I decided to serve him papers for a particular situation. That's when, because you realize that the relationship is over at that point. So when you serve him papers, it's over. And if you go back in the court documents, you'll see that exactly. He said that he was wronging me and he had to own up to his because that's what he did to me. So if you see that, I won't say what he admitted, how much money he made to me on another date.
That court filing became Derrick's proof of what caused their split, as he revealed documents claiming Spence paid only $350,000 instead of the full $2.5 million. And that too, he claims, is what is admitted by Spence himself in court filing.
Yeah, so it looks like he only initially gave you $350,000, but had to give you well over $2 million, I guess,
right.
after wow.
But there is much more to this story. Derrick has now revealed that Spence was injured and did not spar for 8 weeks before the Crawford fight, suggesting he had been hiding the injury all along.
He said he didn't spar. No, he did spar for 2 weeks, and supposedly he got injured within the last week of the sparring, so he couldn't spar for the next 8 weeks because he had suffered an injury in that sparring session, so or whatever the last week of sparring or whatever. So that's what I mean. That's the only thing that was really different, was that he didn't have the ability to spar because he was injured.
And that's, let me zero in on that because it's interesting. He said in the interview, I didn't spar for like 6 to 7 weeks. I didn't get no southpaw work. Didn't get prepared at all for Crawford's southpaw stance.
According to James, Spence initially suffered damaged ribs during sparring. Even after recovering, his father prevented him from returning to full sparring, leaving crucial preparation unfinished before the Crawford fight.
But, and we just kept working.
And who then made the decision? Because as he says in the interview, I didn't spar for 6. So like, let's say if the ribs got better, who made the decision, said no sparring?
Well, his father did. His father said he's not sparring, he's gonna save it to the fight. His father is the one who no sparring. And he was complaining about the way the other guys were sparring. So, so that's who it was.
And he came to you and said that?
Yeah, he said he didn't like the way, he said, no, he's not sparring. He's not gonna spar. And even the funny thing about it was, you try to project when or what. So the week of, like, we were in Vegas.
These accusations have damaged Spence's image, with some now questioning whether his retinal eye tear before the Manny Pacquiao fight was used as a way to avoid the matchup. At the same time, many believe the blame placed on Derrick after the Crawford loss ignored Spence's own mistakes.
I told you guys, he didn't have sparring because of the injury. I'm happy Derrick James made that clear, because Errol Spence said, hey, Derrick, he was in charge of the sparring. I didn't get any sparring work, and everybody started blaming Derrick. No, it was because he was injured. And Derrick James said you could push it 3 months, but he didn't want to do that. Why? Because he couldn't do that. Why? Because of you, because of us, because of the boxing community. We would have called him a duck because he just came off of a retinal tear with Manny Pacquiao, and everybody said that he was faking it. People said we don't want to use the car crash as an excuse, and Errol Spence was talking all that so he couldn't back out now. Here's Tyson Bale. Now listen, the fight happened, but we never got the fight.
Despite the controversy surrounding the unpaid money, James says he still wishes Spence the best against Tim Tszyu. At the same time, he sends a clear warning not to repeat the mistakes made against Crawford. According to Derrick, Tim is a dangerous fighter with the power to knock Spence out. He believes that if Spence is not properly prepared this time, he could suffer another painful defeat.
Hey man, I have no thoughts about it. I don't know anything about it. I'm not even thinking about it. I mean, I really, it's just like another fight. I'm not keeping up with it. He's just gonna do what he do. You know, hopefully he's successful at what he's doing. But you know, other than that, man,
you think Tim Tszyu has a favor because of the 3-year layoff from the Errol Spence had? Maybe.
I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know. I think Errol is gonna do whatever he's gonna do, but I think that Tim Tszyu's a very tough fighter, and you got to be able to use your feet, and you got to be able to box him. Because if not, he's gonna try to bang you out. So you just got to be prepared for that.
With Derrick's claims that Spence entered the Crawford fight injured and without completing proper sparring, the boxing community has erupted. Trainer Greg Hackett strongly criticizes Spence, accusing him of letting Derrick take the blame while hiding the real reason behind the loss. According to Hackett, James's interview only reinforces his honesty and commitment to the sport by finally revealing what really happened.
Corny to say that Derrick James wasn't doing his job when I'm dealing with a horse that's missing a whole leg. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what was I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? You fighting one of the baddest motherfuckers in the world, and you ain't right enough to get this sparring. So what was the point of saying that? You know what I'm saying? So that was the only part. And the only reason I feel that way about it is because I'm a coach myself, and I understand what coaches go through with fighters. Derrick James admitted that, yeah, I had other guys in camp, but they all had different training sessions throughout the day.
Criticizing him further, Hackett insists Spence must come forward and admit his mistakes instead of avoiding responsibility. He believes this has damaged the image behind the nickname The Truth even more. According to Hackett, everything that followed, including the aftermath of the Crawford loss, rests on Spence's decisions. He also says the past car accident and the retinal eye injury are under public scrutiny.
Derrick James, because you already hurt. And on top of that, Derrick James is not responsible for when you leave the gym. That's not his, whatever you do outside the gym, that's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? When you was in that car and you banged out and all that, that's not his fault. He had nothing to do with that. And I seen something else that Jamel Charlo said. He was like, yeah, Derrick James, man, he wants his way. And you work for the fighter. And you know, he ain't even want our dogs in the gym. We brought our dogs. That's because this not no dog park. You know what I'm saying? We in the gym. You know what I'm saying? This not a dog park. That's one. Two, I need you focused.
As for Errol, despite the long layoff, he chose not to take an easy comeback fight and instead accepted the challenge of facing Tim. Speaking about his return, Spence revealed he has stayed active in the gym throughout the break and feels stronger than ever. He promises to deliver his best performance on fight night and prove that ring rust is not real when the mindset is right.
And I just feel like that come fight night, I'm gonna show everybody that, you know, ring rust is not a thing. It's more of a mental thing more than anything, and that's what people can't get over, and that's why they need a tune-up fight to get over that mental hump. It's not a thing for me. Yeah. Ring rust is not a thing at all.
Right.
As for the allegations and criticism from the boxing community, Errol makes it clear he is not bothered by any of it. Instead, he says the doubt gives him extra motivation to prove everyone wrong. Staying fully committed to his preparation, Spence believes he is ready to shock the world and is far more focused on his performance than on what critics continue to say about him.
Man, I really don't care. I mean, I'm excited. I dream about stuff like this, man. You know, it kind of give me chills now coming out and everybody booing. They get me more pumped up than anything. People booing, throwing stuff, you know, angry. That really takes the nervousness out of me. Like, I'm not nervous anymore. Like, people booing and saying things and yelling and screaming. That's like the movies we used to watch as kids, old Spartan movies and stuff. Like, you going into, you know, you going to war. So, you know, it gives me a high. I'm definitely happy, and I'm excited to come out and just, you know, get the fans' negative reactions and feed off of it.
Having parted ways with Derrick James and now training under Ronnie Shields, Errol says this fight means everything to him. He promises to approach it like an all-out war and intends to fight with maximum aggression from the opening bell. Spence also sends a warning to Tim, claiming he will deliver the hardest punches of his career and make sure his power is felt throughout the contest.
All I know is he's definitely gonna get punched on.
He's definitely gonna get punched on.
I mean, I can't tell you how the fight gonna play out.
Well, let me hear it then. Harold, go back just a little bit. You got Ronnie Shields now. He's adding to your game.
Yeah.
I know you, so I know you're gonna be able to pick up whatever it is he wants to give you going into the ring against Tim Tszyu. People know Errol Spence to be this stalking, plotting southpaw that's gonna bang to the body and rip the head, and the fight gonna last as long as it lasts. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be some different wrinkles? Are we gonna get a build up now from you, or you know, are we starting a little? Are we gonna measure this? Like, kind of take me through what you think.
It's definitely gonna last as long as it lasts. You know, that's
One man who has closely observed Spence's training camp is Jermall Charlo, who recently shared his thoughts on the preparation for Tim Tszyu. According to Charlo, Ronnie is sharpening every part of Spence's game, and the improvement is already visible in camp. He believes the real proof will come once Spence steps into the ring and puts everything on display.
He's just working hard. Like, you can tell that he's trying to get back to how he, like, his self. And him using Ronnie is like sharpening up his fundamentals. He knows what to do already. He just, you know, it's making him get into fight shape. And us being around each other, we push each other too. My twin, for real.
For the Crawford fight, Spence missed valuable sparring because of injury. This time, however, he has been working with several partners, including Brian Norman Jr. Ronnie explains they are pushing each other to improve every session, helping Spence sharpen his skills. Shields is determined to make sure none of the mistakes from the previous camp are repeated before fight night.
And number two, you know, Brian is he's a good fighter, number one. Number two, he's a great person, and that's what I like to work with. Yeah. You know, and you know, good people. He's very talented, and so I know I can work with his style.
You know, I was asking him because he has a very strong jab, and you're notorious for teaching that infamous jab, kind of like when I asked you about Earl. What would you say that, you know, Brian's jab is able to do in the ring that maybe wasn't able to be utilized in a fashion that could be maybe worked on a little better?
Yeah, well, you know, you're going to see it a lot, you know, this Saturday night. Yeah. And, you know, the jab is going to set up a lot of other things that we've been working on. Yeah. And, you know, the opponent is going to see something different.
On the other hand, Tim is fully confident he can break Spence mentally and physically. He insists he is not coming just to win, but to take away everything Errol has left. Tim believes this fight will not reach the full 12 rounds because he plans to finish it early. He also warns that this could be Spence's final fight and promises to stop him even quicker than Crawford did.
In your mind, you must feel like this doesn't see 12 rounds on your side.
For sure. That's what I'm going for.
I was reading an interview done with Sporting News Australia, I think, and you said about beating him better than Crawford did. Is that also the mentality in your mind as well?
Well, that's his last hooray that he had, you know? I want him to come back to the memories and do it quicker than Crawford.
Coming from boxing legend Tim Bradley, the warning is directed at Tim Tszyu. Bradley insists Spence is going to knock him out and believes Tim is already in trouble. He even claims Tim's younger brother looked better during sparring. Bradley points to Tim's footwork and movement as major weaknesses, believing those flaws could lead to him getting badly beaten on fight night.
He's one of those fighters that know how to fight. He know how to fight. Errol Spence know what the hell he got to do. Errol Spence is the master of the basics. He know what the hell he got to do. Ain't nothing gonna change. He gonna let them hands go. He gonna take it to Tim Tszyu. You know, and Tim Tszyu is one of those guys, you know, stand right in front of you. He ain't one of them guys that pick up his feet and move. Nah, Tim Tszyu little brother better than him. He better than him. Tim Tszyu brother probably be whooping his sparring. Yeah, he be whooping his. I already know he do. Yeah, lefty. He be moving his head side. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know he be whooping his ass in the gym for real. But they don't be talking about it. But yeah, I think Errol Spence. I think he gonna beat Tim Tszyu. He gonna knock him out. Tim Tszyu is done. He 31 and he done.
Bradley believes years of hard fights have already taken a toll on Tim and that he is no longer the same fighter. He confidently picks Spence to win, insisting Tim's flaws make this a difficult matchup for him. Bradley argues that Tim's biggest problem is the gap between his mindset and his physical condition, believing his durability and overall skills have declined after multiple knockout defeats.
It's not responding, you know, like it should be. You know, a lot of big knockouts and wars for Tim Tszyu, man. He get hit too much, you know, and that's what happens when you get hit too much. Your time, hey, is up real fast. Yeah, your career is short like a mug. So I got Errol Spence in that fight, but it's good to see Errol back, man. I miss Errol for real, man. You know, he looking a little bit like Bob Marley, Errol. Bob Marley got them damn little dreads in his head and stuff, man.
In his assessment, Bradley does not believe Tim has what it takes to convince himself he is the better fighter. He praises Spence for returning without taking a tune-up bout and predicts a difficult night for Tim. Bradley dismisses the claims that Tim will force Errol into retirement, believing those predictions are far from reality. Instead, he sees Spence returning with serious intent to prove he still belongs at the top.
Anyways, man, look, I got Errol. Errol gonna stop his ass. Errol gonna stop your ass, Tim Tszyu. Yeah, the battle of the veterans. That's it, man. Errol is a vet. He's a damn vet, man. He been through a lot too. You know, he only got stopped one fight. I mean, you know, as far as, you know, in the ring, not a whole lot of traumatic experience besides that Crawford one, you know, but he took the right appropriate time off. That car accident, that's a big thing. That alcohol definitely is a big thing, but shit, other than that, I think he might be better off. I think he might be better off than Tim Tszyu right now. Tim Tszyu just ain't.
Following Derrick's claims about Spence's condition before the Crawford fight, legendary trainer Robert Garcia shares his own assessment. He also explains why Spence is skipping a tune-up fight and heading straight into a dangerous showdown with Tim, believing Errol wants to prove he still belongs among boxing's elite without taking the risky route.
I think when it comes to boxing, a fighter that's been out for what, 3-4 years and wants to come back, I think it's just very normal for anybody to take a tune-up fight. And I said, look, from Spence last performance against Crawford, who made it look so easy. Spence looked bad in that fight. He looked really bad. And a lot of people thought he was gonna be able to beat Crawford. A lot of people favored him, but Crawford made it so easy that it's that Crawford's that good, but Spence was really good too. And if Crawford made it look so easy, I think it had a lot to do with Spence.
According to Garcia, the real reason Spence is skipping a tune-up fight is more about business than confidence. He believes Errol cannot afford the risk of losing a lower-paying comeback bout, making the Tim fight the more rewarding option financially even in defeat. However, Garcia still believes taking a tune-up fight would have been the smarter decision and warns this gamble could ultimately backfire.
After 3 or 4 years layoff, and you look horrible in your last performance, and you're coming back straight into a solid fight, then maybe he feels that he might fail in a tune-up fight. And if he fails in a tune-up fight for a low payday, then he goes straight into a big fight where he's gonna make a couple $1 million. That's my opinion. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm not. That's not talking shit, and that's not. It's not because I don't like Spence. He's never done anything bad to me. You know, he beat Mikey, but he was a better man, and nothing against him. I think I've always shown respect for him, and he's always respecting me too. So I don't think I'm disrespecting. I'm just giving my opinion. I just think that.
And this is where the situation gets even more intense, as Tim is already predicting that this fight will not reach the full 12 rounds. He believes he can stop Spence early and force him into retirement after another loss. Meanwhile, Grant Brown shares a similar view, insisting that Tim has the ability to break down Spence and secure a stoppage victory within 9 rounds.
I give predictions based on my boxing brain, and I do believe Tim will beat Spence. I'm not saying it because he's a friend and I want him to do it. I believe that Tim Tszyu will beat Errol Spence. I believe that he'll stop him inside 9 rounds. I'm not taking nothing away from Errol, but I think Tim knows he's got, this is it. Career's on the line here. You got the big fish, a name that you wanted for a long time. I believe there was 2 guys he wanted, was Charlo and Spence, the other Charlo. But he's got Spence, and I believe next will be Charlo. Jeff Fenix, the best guy to have to mentally prepare you, obviously, and physically. But Jeff's the guy to get you ready. And if
Grant stresses the importance of this fight for Tim, believing he has a major opportunity after waiting so long for this moment. He feels a stoppage loss for either fighter could seriously damage their careers. However, if the defeat comes by a close decision, there could still be future opportunities. Without that, Grant believes the championship dreams could fade. He expects Tim to seize this chance and show his full potential.
a loss for either guy. We'll put it this way. A stoppage loss for either guy's career ending. I don't care how it is. So if one of the guys lose on points, and it's close, then there's a chance they can fight on. But if Errol or Tim happens to one of them gets stopped, it's career over. There's no way, I don't think, to rebuild them, especially with all the superstars around at the moment, the Boots Ennis's and the Virgil Ortiz's and the Funduras. So I don't think it's going to go in his mind. I think he's just, excited to have this opportunity, and no limits put him there. And now it's up to him to close the deal, and I believe he will.
While some professionals still view Spence as the favorite, others are raising serious concerns. Lonnie B believes Spence understands the impact of being away from boxing. From the losses and Derrick's claims to the criticism from fans, Lonnie feels the pressure could affect Spence's focus and prevent him from performing like his prime self. He does not want to see Spence stopped by Tim.
I think it's good for Spence. Tim Tszyu is a lot to bite off of. A first fight back coming off his destruction of Terrence Crawford. I just think that's, if I had to pick, I would lean more towards Tim Tszyu. It seems like I don't know how Spence, I just don't know, you know what I'm saying? And the way he looked. I don't want to see Spence fight again. That's just me. And it's emotional for me because I'm a fighter. And Spence, I would rather Spence just go out with that right there and just remember him for being great in his time and just fighting a guy that was better than him. Like, I don't want to see him lose to Tim Tszyu or even get stopped by Tim Tszyu.
Derrick James's shocking claims have added another layer of drama to Spence's comeback story, but now the truth will be decided inside the ring. Will Errol silence the accusations and prove the doubters wrong, or will Tim expose every weakness? Share your prediction, hit like, and subscribe for more boxing breakdown.